across.
I've got you up and down. Would you rather be across?
Yeah, they say to always do across because
Okay.
they can cut it on both sides. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking to Joshua Smith, who's running for LNC chair to replace Nick Sarwark. Had you been chair during the recent vote on Arvin, would you have voted to remove him?
I probably would have voted yes, and that's after a year of torment. You know, like I told many people, this is my 18th state that I've been to in the last 19 weeks. I've worked with and been around hundreds of candidates, campaign teams, activists. It's the same story. You know, people have lost members of their campaign teams because of Arvin directly. And while I like Arvin enough in person, he's a nice guy, he's personable, it's doing a lot of damage to our activists, and I think as a strong leader he should have taken care of the problem. So.
You believe this race is in part a referendum on this decision?
What's for me?
Yeah, between you and Nick, do you think it's in part a referendum on him?
I think that some people will be voting because of the Arvin vote. I do believe that. But as far as, you know, the blood between me and Nick, look, I like Nick. I think Nick has been a great torchbearer for this party. He's implemented some great ideas. He's moved us along. But I see us stagnating. And I saw us stagnating back in September when I announced. You know, this didn't have anything to do with Arvin Bohr when I announced. I'm not running a campaign against Arvin Bohr. I'm running against the ideas of Nick. But yeah, I believe that there will be several people who are voting because of, you know, Nick's leadership in the Arvin Bohr case.
You know, obviously, I think you can do a better job than the current chair. You wouldn't be running. However, what has Nick accomplished, or what successful strategies has he used that you've learned from or would like to emulate?
Well, I think his focus on ballot access for some of our states like Ohio, you know, they've dumped like $100,000 in Ohio in the last year to try and get ballot access there because the state keeps changing the rules, you know. And so I think his focus on that has been really well. You know, he's done a pretty decent job messaging himself, but I've seen some inconsistencies. That was another problem that I had. You know, the fights with Tom Woods, the arguments with Jason Stapleton, and telling people, you know, maybe your crowd are not the people we want in the Libertarian Party. I think that was a huge ball drop. But outside of that, I think he's done pretty well in the media. You know, he's gotten himself on Kennedy a handful of times, and he's done some really good things for the party, and he's brought a lot of people to the party. But like I said, I think it's time for our new visions.
Some people have accused you of appealing to or dog whistling to the alt-right. Where does that accusation even come from?
You know, it's this one's really funny. Let me look right at the camera and say, I do not support white nationalism or the alt-right. But let me move on from there. Look, I'm half Israeli. You know, my dad's side of the family's from Israel. They're Jews that have been fighting fascism in you know, regimes for generations. You know, I have no inkling of support to white nationalists or the alt-right, and I think a lot of that came from the initial platform that I put out. I said that the Socialist Caucus didn't have a spot at our table. I still believe that socialists who want to subvert our platforms and, you know, use our party as a vehicle for their violent collectivism don't have a place at our table. I believe that for the left or the right. If you're a peaceful person and you want to have your own voluntary commune and be a socialist on your voluntary commune, and you don't want to go take other people's private property, and you don't want to kill landlords or hang them or whatever the people are talking about these days, that's fine. I'll work with you. But when I put that platform out, I believe that they thought, you know, that they could drag my name through the mud by saying I was sympathetic to the alt-right. Although they didn't realize I had put out a video speech after the Charlottesville riots condemning the alt-right and white nationalists and saying that as libertarians, we shouldn't be caught rubbing shoulders with these people. So, you know, fast forward to my run, and here, you know, back a couple months ago, I went to the Libertarian Party of Florida. I went to their state convention, and I had heard nothing but this state affiliate in itself was subverted by white nationalists and completely taken over by white nationalists. And I know a lot of that has to do with Augustus Invictus. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Augustus Invictus, and in fact, I was at one point writing a hit piece about him, and then I just decided to do an interview where he hung himself on my show. But I showed up to the Libertarian Party of Florida, and I saw one of the most diverse state affiliates I've seen, probably the most diverse state affiliate I've seen. There was a Cuban chair named Marcus Morales, who is amazing, by the way. He's a young guy. He's kind of like me, came out of the woodwork. A lot of people didn't know who he was, and he busted ass, and now he's running a very successful state affiliate. They had Venezuelans, they had Dominicans, they had gay, straight, black, white. I mean, it was so amazingly diverse. And there's one gentleman there named Ryan Ramsey. If you're familiar with who Ryan Ramsey is, you know, he was a friend of Augustus Invictus. He does have a past in that. But now he's working on a campaign team for a Dominican or black gubernatorial candidate. You know what I mean? He's started 8 new regional affiliates there for the Libertarian Party of Florida, all of which are just as diverse as the state party. I mean, the guy is not a white nationalist, you know. He may say some crude remarks here and there. He may offend a couple of people, but I've never seen anything personally that makes him look like a white nationalist. Maybe other people have different experiences. I would like to see that personally, because I'm not the kind of person who just throws out, you know, faulty accusations. But I took a picture with him, as I do with people I meet at all of these state conventions. You know, like I said, I've been to 18 states. And so,
speaking of faulty accusations, probably best to just move past it. But you know, it's recent news, so Dern. When she stepped down, she gave some parting shots. She called you incompetent. She called you childish. Does it take one to know one?
I imagine so. Well, here's the thing about Alicia Dern. Before she even decided to announce, I had a lady named Angela Owens, and I'm sure some of your viewers will be familiar with Angela Owens. She came to me. She said, "Hey, you and Alicia Dern are going to work together to take down Nick." And I said, that doesn't really sound good to me. You know what I mean? I don't think I need to work with somebody to take down Nick. I want to run my own campaign. I had been running a relatively clean campaign to begin with against Nick. You know, I had been going around the country building up this support and showing them my ideas are better. And that's what I want to run on. And so they got a little upset about it, and then, you know, Alicia would start taking some pot shots at me here and there, and then we started doing some debates, and I don't think she was really happy with the way the debates were you know, panning out. A lot of people were saying that I was winning the debates or whatever, you know, and it's just, it's all, you know, it's the battlefield of ideas. And so, yeah, recently we had a debate, you know, me and Nicholas and Alicia, and during the debate they asked a question. They said, if you weren't running, which of the other two would you vote for? And Nicholas gave a very politician-y answer. He said, you know, I would trust the delegates to do whatever they think is right. I'm not a politician.
Right.
I'm an activist. It's exactly why I'm running to chair this party. I believe that activism is the way forward for us now. Maybe once we get more of a footing after the hard fight, we can have a politician run the party, but I think we need an activist. And so, being the activist that I am, I said, on pure experience alone, I would vote for Nicholas Starhart. And she took it to heart. She messaged me right after. She told me, hey, you know, you're playing right into his hands. Now he's going to win. He's going to win handedly. And I said, I don't believe that. Have you seen the support I've been able to get? And I didn't say anything else to her. And to be honest, that was the only time I've had any interaction with Alicia over the last month and a half or more.
Right.
And then she decided to start going in on me hard, and she teamed up with the Socialists and the Libertarian Party Audacious Caucus, and they've been going at me as hard as they can. And I'm doing my best not to respond. I'm trying to run a clean campaign. She took it to heart that I wasn't responding. They blocked me and then dropped out of the party, dropped out of the race, entered her delegate status, and now she's working with the United Independent Party. And you know, I put out a nice message. I said, you know, I appreciate the things she's done for ballot access. She has helped. You know, litigation, and I wish her well on her future endeavors. But I have a goal, and I have a focus, and I'm not going to lose focus on that goal. And so, you know, good luck to her, and I hope she does all right in the Independent Party.
You talked about Nick giving a politician-y answer about letting the delegates decide. You have an opinion on Bill Weld?
Bill Weld is not my first choice for presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party. I think, you know, like I said, we have a really unique opportunity right now in this political climate to become a very driving force for liberty in the United States, and I want somebody who is going to stay on principle. I don't think we need to be inflammatory like the Art Voras. I just want somebody who's going to go out there and they're going to say, hey, this is wrong. This is how we fix it. You know, if as chair of the party, if Bill Weld gets the nomination, I will be bound by the delegates to support him, and that's fine. And I would put all my energy into Bill Weld to hopefully get us that magical 5% number. Although I've set a goal of 20%. I would put all my efforts into getting that magical 5% because it's important for us to have ballot access in 50 states. It's important for us to get on the national debate stage, and so I would. But you know, he's not my first choice, and I think we've looked at some other candidates that I think might be better as well. So,
Who's a better national chair, Ronda Romney McDaniel or Tom Perez?
Tom Perez.
Why?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't really make the news much, do they?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, look, the national chairs don't make the news. We don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in the party, it's very important to have a national chair that is going to reflect the activism of our party members. And so, I try not to pay too much attention to other parties. So, I focus on their leadership instruction and how they are being successful, and that's what we need to figure out. You know what I mean?
So, Alicia Dern also called you a liar. Have you been lying to me this entire interview?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
No.
No.
Are you lying there?
No?
No.
Okay.
You make up your own mind.
Well, my words may not mean much, but if you want my endorsement, you got it.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to voting for you, Nola.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, I don't follow any other chairs, by the way. So, I was just gonna. That was the one.